When we land here, I describe it as we kind of splat.
Mhm.
It's like a rough landing, and we splat and we disperse, and all of our attention, as we said earlier, goes to the outer world.
Mm.
And in that, we develop a personality way out there on the edge of the splat. We're out there trying to make it work and trying to please people and do the right thing and show up for life and be a good employee or a good employer or a good partner. We're just out there trying on that outer edge.
Mhm.
And when we get sick from living out there in that outer edge and we don't self-heal, because the self-healer is here on the inside. And so we're living way out here on this outer perimeter, and we get sick and we go to the doctor and we get a prognosis or a diagnosis and we get a treatment program assigned, and then they do the treatments and we don't heal. If we don't heal, it's all because none of that had anything to do with activating the true healer on the inside. So there is no surgery and there is no pill and there is no process from the outside in that heals us. What causes us to heal is when we activate the healer within the body. Now, sometimes a pill or a surgery or a methodology of therapy of some sort will activate the healer within in an inadvertent way, directly or indirectly, and then healing happens. And we associate it with the surgery or the medication or whatever. But it is actually that the healer within took that up and did something with it that it made the healing happen in the person at the end of the day. So when healing doesn't happen from the methodologies that we attempt, it is because the individual is still living out there in the protective personality or the performing personality that they developed along the way. And the modalities just aren't strong enough or potent enough to knock them back inside. And believe me, some chemotherapies and some surgeries and some intense approaches like that are big enough that, boom, they just rock our world and knock us down. And when they knock us down, it lands us in this surrendered place where we activate the healer within. So the invitation is surrender so that you don't have to get sick to have to surrender and get to this healer within. So a person who is living out there as a protected personality, they don't know that they are. They're living as this performing personality. We don't know that we are because that's all we've ever done. So it's like the fish that's in water doesn't know it's in water because it's always only ever been in water until you take it out and throw it on the bank. And now it's like, I prefer the water. So they had no choice point before that. So people are waking up to realize they have a choice point. And then it's easier for them to realize, oh, there's a reason that the modality didn't work for me. It's because I wasn't home to receive it. I was living out there on this outer surface layer on the perimeter of who I am. And these modalities can't heal me from there. So it's so important in that moment that the person doesn't conclude, this just isn't going to work for me and there's no hope. There's so much hope. But first we have to learn how to come home and live there in this place where these modalities can serve. And we might just find that we don't even need as many of them as we thought we did. Because when we do come home, the natural healing state that is intended to be self-healing all the time is able now to be fueled and to kick in and do what it's here to do. And then we self-heal and we self-regulate and we self-illuminate, and everything changes when that starts to happen. So there is always hope. And when someone starts to feel like there is not hope, I assure you, it is because they're not sitting in the right seat to receive the benefits that life and that modern, medicine can both provide. And it would be my preference that people learn and try to attempt natural self-healing. And there are also, I want to say this, there are also a lot of natural self-healing techniques out there that work for people and don't work for some people. And the reason that they don't work for the people that they don't work for is because of what I just said. They're not at home doing these practices. They're not in their deep core central channel like what we were referencing. They're not living in here. They're living way out here on the surface and beyond. And they're not actually getting to reap the benefits of these natural healing techniques that are available for them because they're trying instead of receiving. instead of accepting and receiving. So let me just ask this quick question to everyone who's watching or listening. If you find it easier to give than to receive, it is possible that you are not landing completely in your deep core, true, essential self the way you could be. It needs to be just as easy for you to receive as it is to give. It needs to be a non-issue. So just like think, oh, wow. So we have to get better at dropping into our deep core self and feeling and owning and knowing who and what we really are. Because when we know that, giving and receiving are equally joyous, and we don't hesitate or resist either of them.